South Park has always pushed the limits of comedy, but sometimes the show goes way past silly jokes and lands straight into nightmare fuel, from shocking character deaths to pitch black storylines that make you question how this even aired on TV. Some episodes leave fans laughing nervously, or not laughing at all. Today we're diving into the darkest corners of South Park, the episodes that stick with you long after the credits roll. Butter's very own episode. Let's kick things off with one of the most infamous moments in South Park history, Butter's very own episode. Butters has always been the innocent punching bag of South Park, sweet, clueless, and way too trusting for his own good. But in that episode, that innocence runs straight into one of the darkest plots the show ever pulled. After suspecting her husband of cheating, Butter's mom has a breakdown and literally drives the car into a river with him inside. And instead of remorse, his parents stage a fake kidnapping for the press. Meanwhile, Butters wanders around oblivious, not realizing his own parents just tried to erase him. Classic parenting, right?
Well, our son was abducted. We don't know that he's dead yet. Right.
Stanley's Cup. Moving on, let's talk about one of the most unexpectedly cruel episodes, Stanley's Cup. Normally, a story about kids' sports is supposed to be uplifting, but South Park twists it into pure nightmare fuel. After Stan's bike gets towed, he ends up coaching a hockey team of little kids, including Nelson, who's battling a terminal illness. It feels like the setup for a classic underdog miracle. Win the game, save the kid. But instead, the kids face the Detroit Red Wings, get demolished, and Nelson dies. That's it. No miracle, no Hollywood ending. Just a devastating reminder that sometimes life is brutally unfair. So much for feel-good sports movies.
No hope.
Brittany's new look. Next up is an episode that's as disturbing as it is tragic. Britney's new look. South Park usually roasts celebrities, but this time Britney Spears becomes the target of something darker: pity. After endless tabloid stories, Stan and Kyle try to snag a photo of her for cash, only to realize she's desperate to escape the spotlight. What starts as normal celebrity mockery spirals into horror, with Britney literally blowing half her head off in a breakdown, but it doesn't stop there. The paparazzi keep hounding her until she's photographed to death, framed as some twisted ritual sacrifice, because nothing says comedy like turning celebrity culture into a blood offering.
This video was taken just hours ago as Britney was wheeled into the hospital for some reason.
The return of Chef. Another unforgettable dark turn came with the return of Chef. Chef had always been the lovable voice of reason in South Park, a warm, smooth-talking guy who somehow balanced the chaos around him. But after Isaac Hayes left the show, the character's farewell was anything but gentle. When Chef returns, he's disturbingly different, speaking in broken lines and showing unsettling desires toward the boys. It's revealed that the Super Adventure Club brainwashed him into their twisted practices. The kids try to save him, but Chef meets a brutal end, struck by lightning, burned, impaled, and mauled by mountain lions. For such a beloved character, it was a shockingly cruel send-off, like Disney killing off Mufasa, but with extra fire and lions. Crack Baby Athletic Association. Of course, no list of Dark South Park episodes would be complete without one of Cartman's most twisted ideas, Crack Baby Athletic Association. Cartman ropes Butters, Craig, and Clyde into a scheme where they film drug-addicted babies fighting each other and post the videos online for profit. It's as messed up as it sounds, and somehow it only gets darker when EA Sports shows up offering to turn it into a video game. Kyle, despite being horrified, gets sucked into the plan too, leaving his moral compass wobbling. The boys still get their win, but viewers were left realizing they just watched crack-addicted babies turned into a sports franchise. Dark comedy at its bleakest.
30% of the money we make off the licensing agreement with EA Sports goes to the orphanage for the needy crack babies.
Woodland Critter Christmas. Another one that shocked fans is Woodland Critter Christmas. At first it feels like a wholesome holiday special. Stan stumbles upon a group of talking woodland critters decorating a tree, all excited for the birth of their savior. But things quickly spiral into nightmare fuel when it's revealed the critters are actually Satan worshippers, preparing to use Kyle as the vessel for the Antichrist. Suddenly, the cute Christmas cheer is replaced with demonic rituals, orphaned cubs, and a gun-toting Santa swooping in to save the day. It's violent, twisted, and about as far from Silent Night as you can get, because nothing says Christmas like woodland creatures chanting for the end of humanity. Scott Tenorman must die. Then there's the episode that officially turned Cartman from an obnoxious bully into a full-blown supervillain. Scott Tenorman must die. After being humiliated and pranked by Scott, an older kid who always seems one step ahead, Cartman goes to extremes to get revenge. And by extremes, we're talking Shakespearean tragedy levels. He has Scott's parents killed, grinds them into chili, and serves it to Scott in front of a crowd, relishing in his horror as the truth comes out. It's one of the darkest, most infamous moments in the entire series, and a defining chapter in Cartman's descent into pure evil. Forget playground pranks. This was Hannibal Lecter with a 4th grade twist.
You gonna cry all day, crybaby?
You know, everyone has problems. It doesn't mean you have to be a little crybaby.
The China Program. Next up is one of the most controversial storylines South Park ever aired, the China Program. After watching the Beijing Olympics opening ceremony, Cartman becomes convinced China is plotting to invade America and drags poor Butters into his paranoid mission, which mostly plays out at a P.F. Chang's. But the real darkness comes from Stan and Kyle, who are left traumatized after seeing Indiana Jones in the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. To them, the movie isn't just disappointing, it's portrayed as Spielberg and Lucas raping Indiana Jones. The metaphor is shocking, brutal, and one of the most uncomfortable South Park moments ever. Proof that sometimes their jokes cut way too deep. Kenny dies. Another unforgettable dark turn came in Kenny Dies. Up until this point, Kenny's constant deaths were just a running gag. He'd be gone 1 week and back the next with no explanation. But this time, it's different. Kenny is diagnosed with a terminal illness, and for once the show plays it straight. Each of the boys reacts in their own way. Kyle stays loyally at his side, Stan avoids him out of grief, and Cartman, in peak Cartman fashion, tries to cash in by pushing stem cell research. When Kenny actually dies, it shocked fans who thought the gag was eternal. For a moment, the joke ended, and it was heartbreakingly real.
What, Cartman? What's happened? Look! I put the stem cells from all the fetuses I had next to Shaggy's.
Cartman joins NAMBLA. Sliding right into another dark chapter, we've got Cartman joins NAMBLA. Ever the narcissist, Cartman decides his regular friends are too childish and sets out to find adult companions online, only to stumble into NAMBLA, where their idea of friendship is, well, disturbingly inappropriate. Meanwhile, Kenny's side plot is just as bleak, with him desperately trying to stop his parents from having another baby. Eventually, the storylines collide in a chaotic mess of chases, creepy hotel antics, and Kenny's dad enduring the worst bath of his life. Uncomfortable, disturbing, and exactly the kind of episode that makes you question South Park's sanity.
Ta-da! What are we gonna do? Well, Cartman, you got everybody into this. You have to figure out a way to get everybody out. Yeah!
Put it down. Next up is one of South Park's darkest political takes. Put it down. The episode zeroes in on the dangers of being glued to your phone when you're in power, specifically President Garrison, a thinly veiled stand-in for Donald Trump. Tweak panics over a potential North Korean conflict, and Craig tries a simple, sweet solution, sending cupcakes as a peace offering. But Garrison's relentless Twitter activity blows the plan to pieces, escalating tensions to absurdly dangerous levels. The episode ends with a motivational song urging leaders to put it down, reminding us that sometimes the fate of the world rests on whether someone can stop tweeting, because nothing says global security like a baked goods intervention.
I was just elected president.
That's great, Nancy. Now put down your phone.
Right.
Human Centipad. And finally, we've saved the darkest, most shocking episode for last, Human Centipad. When it comes to traumatizing experiences, Kyle usually takes the second spot after Kenny, but this one puts him through literal nightmare territory. After blindly accepting the latest iTunes update without reading the terms and conditions, Kyle is captured by Steve Jobs and Apple agents and forced into a horrifying scenario straight out of the Human Centipede. The scene is jarringly grotesque for an animated show. The only tiny silver lining comes when Cartman gets struck by lightning.